Happy New Year. It is a beautiful sunny day in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, Nigeria. I'm glad to be with you once again this year, 2024. What a pleasant day, and I have the opportunity of also having great scholars in my midst. This is Your Image with Akin Okudero, a public relations program that mirrors the society, that connects and engender collaboration, engender development, and national unity. Today we are looking at the topic, understanding the town and gown effects of agricultural universities. There has been a lot of misconceptions, and some do not have the great understanding of why the universities of agriculture were established. I have with me Professor Kolawole Adebayo. Professor Kolawole Adebayo is a professor of agriculture and rural development, and also Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development, Federal University of Agriculture. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. It's great to be on the program.
He's not alone here. I also have another giant, another great scholar, and in the person of a Professor Olalekan Jacob Olaoye. Professor Olalekan Olaoye is a professor of history, extension, and production management. He's also currently the director of Agricultural Media Resources and Extension Center of the Federal University of Agriculture. You ask me why the two giants are here. Of course, you will know very soon. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, just looking at the topic, understanding the town and gown effects of agricultural universities, maybe all over the world, and Nigeria in particular, because it was of recent development. Let me first of all congratulate Federal University of Agriculture on the current rating as the best University of Agriculture in Africa. What does that contain? And what has been the trajectory?
Another one of today.
Today, I also have the great news, that's a breaking news, that FNAB is ranked as the 11th best value university in Nigeria for international students, and is placed among the top 25% best value university in world ranking. That's a great achievement. What has been the trajectory, Professor Kola Adebayo?
Thank you very much. The Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, was established along with the sister institution, the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, in 1988, January 1, by a proclamation of the federal government. And the reason for establishing those universities then, and then later the University of Agriculture, Umudike, was added to that mix. The reason for doing that at that time was to have specialized university dedicated to agriculture. And the mandate for those universities were very clear: teaching, research, and extension services to support the agricultural ecosystem in Nigeria, particularly with the provision of high-level manpower for that sector. And to a large extent, we have been building on this up till today. And that is why last year we were ranked the second best university in Nigeria and the best public university. And what they do in ranking us is to look at the key performance indicators that we were supposed to achieve. What are we doing in research? What are we doing in the teaching of our students? And what are we doing in extension services? Research, funding, research impact, and research collaborations and partnership are one group of indicators. Then the quality of our alumni, the quality of our products as rated by employers, that's a key indicator. And then people who interface and interact with our products also either at during their training or immediately after their training also give feedback to that system. And then finally we do an outreach service through the agricultural systems of the country by collaborating with agricultural extension projects, by collaborating with research institutes, and ensuring that we make input that advance the cost of agriculture in the country. So that's the basic thing we are doing, and that's what we've been honored over and over for.
Well, there has been an argument from the public space that they do not understand the essence of Federal University of Agriculture when they have shortage of food in the environment. How can you defend that?
Okay. Federal Universities of Agriculture are not commercial farms. We need to make that very clear. So the aim of Federal Universities of Agriculture is not essentially to produce food. We are to train the people who will produce the food or work in the industries where the food is being produced. So that one has to be set clear. The other thing that we need to clear is that beyond manpower, which is our primary function, there are other factors aligned with the production and availability of food. Giant among this is infrastructure.
Okay.
Giant among this is the ancillary services in transport, in electricity, in cost of energy. If all of these are not in place, the manpower is not enough to deliver what is needed. One thing that is very clear so far is that there is no shortage of qualified manpower, which is our primary mandate. And that is why, despite the fact that a large number of Nigerians are moving out of the country, we still have quite a sizable number keeping the system running. There are countries in the world today that if the number of people who moved out of Nigeria, qualified people who moved out of Nigeria, moved out of these countries, those countries would have shut down by now. So yes, we have our core mandate to which we are contributing to, and the impact is also moderated by those other services and facilities that needs to be provided.
Thank you very much, Prof. Professor Lai.
Thank you, sir.
You are in charge of the Extension Center.
Yes.
How has that benefited the populace? That's one question. The other question is, what are the real things the people should know about your extension programs?
Thank you very much, sir. FNAB, as a university, has the role of disseminating, proofing, and appropriate technologies to farm families and all stakeholders in agriculture.
In form of training?
The form that which we use are training,
Okay.
demonstrations, then stakeholders meetings, collaboration, partnership, linkages. Those are the areas that we do. We also collaborate with externally funded projects. Projects from foreign donors are taken to farm families in their localities to develop and improve their livelihood. At large, increase the pulse. That is, income to the farmers. And just as I've said, outreach is done in such a way that research that have been proven, new innovations are taken to these farmers in their domain.
Their localities.
In their localities.
Okay.
And in some cases, we don't just take these technologies to them. We also carry out what is called adaptive research, whereby the technologies, applied technologies, will make it farmers friendly, farmer participate in carrying out, is what these researchers have done. Are they okay for farmers? Farmer will participate in what is called demonstrations.
And the new technology, is it applicable
Yes.
with the local environment?
That is why we said technologies are what is called method demonstration. We demonstrate it methodologically through what is called participatory method. And at the end of it, when the result comes out, we also have what is called result demonstration, field days. We invite more farmers from different community to come and see the outcome of that research on the farmers' field. And the farmers will be the one that will explain what they have done. The researcher will just be looking. Farmers, tell your colleagues what you have done. Since these particular technologies are effective on your own farm, others will be able to what? Adopt that particular technology. That is in terms of
thank you very much. But you talk about externally funded projects.
Yes.
Could you look?
Okay. Now, let me mention externally funded projects that we have. We are in collaboration with IITA, International Institute of Tropical Agriculture. It's externally funded project on agriculture, different agriculture. There is another one going on Zero Hunger project, whereby we demonstrate different usage of cassava. Confectionaries, we did that at Olonsogo here. Over 200 farmers attended throughout the state. That is one aspect of that. We also collaborated with other company, World Bank project. And not only World Bank project, there are others. IFAD project, USAID project, the International Fund for African Development. Is that okay? All these are internationally funded projects that are brought into the universities. For farmers, we don't just do it on our campus. We take it to farmers' community where all these are demonstrated for farmers to see themselves and involve and see the outcome.
Well, from what Professor Larry just explained, why are we not having the impact of this experimentation, new approaches, and new technology manifesting in bumper harvest?
Okay, I think we need to clarify that. Bumper harvest, that's at the level of production, farms. And what you have today is not the lack of yield. It's in the conveyance of that yield from the farmer's field to the table of the consumer. In that process, a lot of waste happens. I mean, everyone already know about tomato. The yield of tomato in Nigeria is so high that before it moves from the farm to the market, more than 50% of that tomato
lost
is wasted, either due to bad road, either due to lack of energy for cold value chain to maintain the quality, or in fact, conveyance, the infrastructure for conveyance is a major albatross, it's a major problem for the agricultural sector. And that's not something within our mandate as a university. Our mandate
maybe that's what the populace or citizen didn't understand.
The citizen need to understand this, that in taking a decision on how we allocate tax resources, we need to allocate it in such ways that efforts at one end of the value chain are not lost at another end of the value chain. So when farmers produce, imagine if you have a 30 tons per hectare yield, the average farmer's yield used to be between 10 and 12 tons. Today, we can easily get 30 to 50 tons per hectare on a farmer's field. But if that farmer's field is in a place like Mokoloki in Obafemi Owode local government, getting the product from that place to Abeokuta, a distance not more than 45 to 50 kilometers, can be an heartache, particularly when the volume is no longer the small quantity that we used to carry in basket, if you need to use vehicular transport. When it comes to the rainy season, some of our rural roads are in poor conditions. And then storage facilities near market centers are missing. I know that there are some projects like the special agro-industrial processing zone that Ogun State is trying to go into now that are going to be addressing some of these constraints. But these are some of the things that we could have been doing more than a decade ago to prevent the situation that we find ourselves today. Because agriculture, the food that we will eat tomorrow, we need to have provided it yesterday. It's not when we wanted to eat it that we will start making provisions for it.
Well, I was still going to the area of storage later, but let us look at FNAB. We have seen that in the recent years, a lot of development has occurred. Infrastructural facilities,
yes, irrigation,
installation of high-tech equipment, facilities, and state-of-the-art
equipment
laboratories. In the laboratories and in the library and the like have been established. Could that be could it be a contributing factor to the rating of FNAB?
Oh, definitely. It is a large part of that factor. You see, now we can run analysis in our laboratories that used to be run overseas. That's something we didn't have capacity to do a few years ago. Now we can do all of those. Now we have irrigation facilities that enable us to reticulate water all over our campus. Now we have a library that is state-of-the-art, second to none in the entire continent. All of these come into the rating in the output, the research output of our staff. Because now we have a greater capacity.
And probably development of the students.
Of course. We have a greater capacity to compete level to level with our colleagues overseas.
Okay.
Let's take, for instance, when they are ranking research output, the quality of the laboratories where you did the research is going to be important. The quality of the equipment that you use on the farm is going to be important. And of course, engagement with the public in terms of publication of the output of those research in high quality journals will be rated. So when all of this come together, you find that FNAB has moved away from its peers. And that's why
maybe from analog to
digital.
Okay. Well, thank you for that aspect. But let me also ask, the students, why are they not independent? Why are they still looking for government jobs?
That's an excellent question, sir. Very excellent question. You see, our employability rating is the highest in this country. Employability rating is measured by the comment from employers of labor on the products of each university. And that's done independently, not through the involvement of any university. Now, when the employability rating is done, it's to show that the employers are happy or unhappy with the output of the graduate of the various universities. Now, that's one leg of the job. The second leg of the job is for graduates of agriculture to be job creators and not job seekers.
To be independent.
To be independent, to establish their own farm. The knowledge we have ingrained in them is only an aspect of what is needed. They need sustainable access to land. They need sustainable access to finance. They need sustainable access to proper market facilities.
Even security.
Sustainable, of course, security, that they can go to the farm and feel safe. Now, when you put all of this down, then their knowledge becomes useful. But if somebody is knowledgeable, but is afraid that he will be kidnapped, if somebody is knowledgeable but couldn't traverse the road, if somebody is knowledgeable but didn't have the access to fund to use to implement the knowledge, then there are challenges. And this is what I mean by the system is only as strong as its weakest link.
Well, Professor Oloye,
thank you, sir.
You are in the Extension Center. Yes. How do you rate the percentage of your students or the ratio of those ones who do independent farming or agricultural activities compared with those people who get engaged by government. Because FNAB is a specialist university.
Thank you very much, sir. All the students at part 4, they engage in what is called community farming scheme. Community farming scheme is in the sense that these students will go to rural area and stay there for 1 year. By that, they mingle with the community, use those resources there. Some of the parents of these students now move to this community, some of all these communities, and buy land for their wards or children to establish in some of all these communities. Typical example, if you go to Deletion, you see some there. Dogboli, you will see. You will see. Shagaorile, you will see. Even Kabiesi, or some of them. And you can see, practically, these students are involved in the community. And they decided to stay there. Some of them are permanently stay there now. They even marry from the locality there.
On graduation.
Upon graduation. As both of them are now managing. They are doing beautifully well. Some of them, you go to them, and can you now come and take government jobs? They tell you, no, sir. Because what they are realizing from being self-employed as a result of the knowledge that have been imparted to them by FNAB is nothing to write home about.
I will take you up on
Please
that
do, sir.
when we continue with this program.
Thank you, sir.
Citizens, this is how far we can go on this particular topic. It's been very interesting. Experts are their game, and of course, we can't be here for hours, but time will not permit us. I'd like to appreciate Professor Kolawole Adebayo, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Development, Federal University of Agriculture, for being here today.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm honored to be here.
It's a great pleasure having you. Professor Olalekan Olaoye, it's nice having you too.
Thank you very much, sir.
Time will not permit us, we will have to continue. But I'm going to look into other areas when next we come. When we come, we're going to look at how FNAB is helping the students to secure permanent place for their activities.
That's interesting.
And we will also look into other areas because what agitates the mind of the citizens, we will want to look into that. I'm Akin Okudero, your anchor, and the topic we just discussed is understanding the town and gown effects of agricultural universities in Nigeria. It is a wonderful opportunity to develop ourselves, to let farmers get new trend, new ideas, new techniques to growing food for the nation. And it's also a platform for us to engender collaboration, partnership, and let there be success story in Nigeria. Until next week, when we continue with this topic, I am Akin Okudero. Thank you for being with us. Join us next week for the continuation. Thank you.